Coucou, c'est K-Jin. 안녕하세요, K-Jin입니다. As you know, I'm learning français, French, and I watch some YouTube channels to learn about France. And I want to introduce what YouTubers I'm watching. And please note that they introduce about France in Korean. So, well, you might not understand what they're saying, but still I enjoy their channels so much and I want to introduce them too. It will be also interesting to see why they started introducing France on YouTube. Alors, allons-y! The first channel that I want to introduce is Lilka in Korean. She was born in France and she grew up there until I don't remember the exact years, but many years, like around 9-10 years because of her parents. So when she came back to Korea, she couldn't speak Korean very well, so she had very hard time. But now, of course, she speaks perfect Korean. And also her French pronunciation is very good. Also, she introduced how to pronounce some luxury brand in French pronunciation, and she also talked about something French in her channel. So that's how I found her channel and I really like her. She's really pretty, by the way. And also she sometimes sings in French. I like her songs too. The next YouTube channel that I watch is Stella Jang. Stella Jang. Her real name is 성은, but 성은 is not an easy name for foreigners to call. So her teacher called her Stella instead, so she becomes Stella Jang now. She was born and grew up in Korea, but her mother suggested her to study in France, and she thought that's a great idea, so she went to France. When she was 13 years old, I think. It's very young. She went to France alone, and she studied in France for 12 years, and now she speaks perfect French. She studied biotechnology and management, business management, in I don't know how to pronounce this. In 그랑제골 아그로파리테크. I guess it should be like 그랑제골 아그로파리테크 or something. Can you guess her job now? She's a singer-songwriter. Because she speaks French, sometimes she uploads some French songs on her channel and I love them. And in the comments, a lot of French people said her French is perfect. So wow, I envy her. The next channel that I often watch is 조승연의 탐구 생활. He's an author and he studied business management in New York University. And after that, he moved to Paris and studied art history and natural history in École du Louvre. So he introduced a lot of things about France, French history, French culture, and I really enjoy his content. He's also a big fan of Carly Bruni. Oh, I don't know how to pronounce it correctly. Carly Bruni? And he did an interview with her on his YouTube channel too. I decided to go to Paris because of him. The way he described about Paris is like really nice. And one of my favorite lines that he mentioned was, actually that's not what he said, that's what his friends told him, that Paris is always the same. So if you travel in Paris and go to Paris like 30 years later, 40 years later, you will see that Paris stays the same. It's always the same and it reminds you all the memories that you had in Paris long time ago. I thought the way he described Paris is really beautiful and I want to experience that too. But there are so many beautiful cities that I found these days. So I don't know if I go to Paris next year or another cities. But anyway, definitely Paris is one of my top candidates because of him. The next channel that I want to introduce is Arty and Banana. Arty and Banana. Arty is a French guy and Banana is a Korean girl. They're a couple. Banana is the main person who runs the channel, and since her boyfriend is French, she often talk about France. She also learned French language too. Oh, and also she talks about French boyfriends too. How romantic they are. I really like the way she described France. The next channel that I want to introduce is Fabien. As you can guess from the name, actually he's French. The other people that I introduce are all Korean, but he's French. He's currently living in Korea. He appears on TV quite a lot. His Korean is excellent. excellent. He said he got interested in Korea because he learned taekwondo, taekwondo when he was young. So he had lots of opportunities to hear the Korean words and Korean music. And when he grew up, he came to Korea and now he's very good at Korean history too. So these are the channels that I often watch to know about France. Unfortunately, my French level is not very high to watch native French people's YouTube channel, so I mostly watch Korean channels. I also like to see how Korean people see France from the point of view of Korean because that's what I will see in the future when I go to France. How about you? What kind of channel do you watch to know about Korea? Please let me know in the comments. Merci de regarder ma vidéo. Thank you for watching my video. I'll see you next time. Au revoir.